Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here. Hello, everyone. How you guys doing? Hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome to Reganelite's Viewpoint, episode 141 of the series here. We've got, excuse me, God, that stomach's playing up, that reflux playing up again. Got quite a lot to cover tonight, guys. There's quite a lot of things. I don't know if we'll get through it all, but we'll see how it goes, guys. Just for reference here. So I'll just run down what we'll go through. We're actually going to watch at least one clip of Starmer before we start as well, which I haven't put on there. But we're going to be looking at an article from the Independent where Keir Starmer's basically being told we're at war, as MPs accuse him of complacency on defence spending. We're going to see a clip from that shortly. An interesting exclusive from the iPaper where Britons are to be paid £550 to judge the controversial digital ID scheme. Yes, you get paid to do it. Interesting one there. We have a piece from The Guardian here about ministers telling HS2 to consider slowing the train speeds to cut the cost. What was the point of it's supposed to be high speed, but they're saying to reduce the speed. It's what they're basically saying there. Then we've got a funny video in between. It's a short one, but it's hilariously funny. Then I've got a piece here from the Financial Times. This one is headlined as Keir Starmer is to bring forward the EU rules legislation in King's speech there. Then we have another piece here from the Independent with the headline that Downing Street insists France and the UK are united on small boats as a deal nears the expiry there. And if we have time, I've got a piece here from the Byline Times with the headline of UK-linked components have been traced to the Tomahawk missile that struck the Iranian school. So yes, that attack on the Iranian school, we could be linked to it, guys. We could very well be linked to it. We've got a nice funny video as well at the end. But I also have a warm-hearted video I wanted to share with you guys as well that's gone viral today. So hopefully I'll get a chance to share that with you guys for those who haven't seen. But for those who are new to this live stream and don't know what I normally do, so this is the Viewpoint. This is the longest series of on my channel, and we do this every Monday at 8 a.m. And here on the Viewpoint, we cover specifically UK news here, and we'll have a look at mainly we look at articles and read through them, and we share our thoughts with them as we go dive into them there. And let's have a look and see who we got in the chat. Jao, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. One of our moderators, Jao. I did send you an email. I don't know if it actually was sent or not, but do let me know if you got it or not. The email that I sent you from your first message. If you didn't, let me know, because I did send a time for you. So if you didn't get the email, please let me know, and I'll resend it for you there. Tommy, good evening to you. Hope you are doing well. Sarah Davis, good evening to you. Mel, good to see you there in the chat as well. Richard Goff, good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, I hope you had a good live stream. Sorry I didn't get a chance to pop in. I've been insanely busy again, so I hope it was a good show. Hope you guys all enjoyed it, and hopefully one or two of you were nice enough to buy her some coffees as well, if you could as well. Ellie, good to see you there as well. I hope you are doing well. Another one of our fabulous moderators there. And One Angry Pagan, I just seen pop up down at the bottom there. So guys, make sure if you're not a subscriber to One Angry Pagan or Ellie's YouTube channel, please do. Also, guys, if you're just before we get going as well, guys, I'm like 5 subscribers away from hitting another benchmark in the channel. We're like, I think we're very close to reaching. You know, I really want to hit some next level, guys. I think it's like, I can't remember what the count is. But we're like 5 subscribers away. So if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to the channel. Anyways, let's get started, guys. So first and foremost, I want to take us to this piece here from just absolute bollocks here. Now, so Keir Starmer was at a committee hearing today. He had to answer to MPs here, and this clip here, I've got other clips, but I just wanted to share this one in particular. This is the main one that I wanted to share with you guys here. So the Conservative MP Bernard Jenkins was complaining about our armed forces being under-resourced when it was his Conservative government that cut the defence spending by 25% in real terms over 14 years here. So I'm going to play some of it, and I'm going to pause 1 or 2 times because I do think this is worth 4 subscribers away now. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you for highlighting that. Appreciate it. Anyways, let's have a listen to a bit of this here, guys.
It sounds as though you are at peace while we are actually at war.
Well, with respect, I'm clearing up the mess that I inherited from the last government. And
I dare say Winston Churchill had a bit of mess to clear up from the previous government. Margaret Thatcher had a bit of mess to clear up from the previous government. But now we are facing an urgency. Why were we so unready to defend Cyprus?
So this idiot, I have to call him an idiot. There's a lot of factors you have to say in here, and I'm no Keir Starmer defender, okay? You guys know that, but I've kind of got to point out some obvious facts here. So first and foremost, obviously, he's asking why we weren't prepared for this and all that kind of stuff. Well, we had no idea that the US were going to strike at the time that they did. We had no idea that Israel and the United States were going to strike at the exact time that they did, right? That's the first thing we didn't know, right? Remember, yeah, this attack by the United States and Israel there was no correlation whatsoever with any European allies, anyone in NATO. This was something that they decided on their own, guys, okay? This is something that they decided on their own. That context is really, really important. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. That context is really, really important, okay? Secondly, and this is really another context that people forget as well. The attack on the Cyprus base was not by Iran. It was confirmed that it was not by Iran. They have not confirmed who was responsible. We can assume it was either Hezbollah, or we can assume that Israel did it on purpose, but that's hypotheticals here and there. We don't know that. But let's be clear here. As far as we're aware, Iran did not strike, has not, as far as I'm aware at the time of this recording, have not struck the base. Now, obviously, there was about the Diego Garcia base. Well, that's not been confirmed either. I haven't heard official confirmation that they actually did hit the Diego Garcia base. For all we know, this might have been another Israeli strike, allegedly, used to try and entice the UK government into it. So, and as far as he's like, comparisons to Churchill and Thatcher and whatnot, like, these are all different time zones. There's all many different factors. Like, it's not a fair comparison here. I don't accept that at all. Like, I think Keir Starmer's dealing this situation the best he possibly can. Obviously, many of us fundamentally disagree with the fact that he's allowing the bases to be used as strike, using the UK bases, the US to use bombers and whatnot there, which is, I understand that criticism. But do I think he's handling it a lot better? Like, honestly, hand on heart, do you think Hemi Badenoch would handle this better? Do you think Nigel Farage would handle this better? Do you think Ed Davey would handle this better? Probably Ed Davey might handle it a little bit better, but we don't know. But yeah, this line of attack is just very political rather than actually, coming to the actual issues of this.
Well, we've got a lot of defensive capability in Cyprus, as you know, including the air capability there. And I've been constantly talking to the Cypriots about this. I was on the phone yet again to the President on Saturday at some great length. His assessment, same as my assessment, is that our two military teams are working as closely as they've ever worked now, and we are absolutely determined to do everything we need to do to defend Cyprus. And that's what I discussed with him at some length, not for the first time in recent weeks, on Saturday morning.
So we couldn't even stop a 150 kilometre per hour drone from getting through to hitting a sovereign base in Cyprus. That means we were unprepared. And the very fact that you immediately wanted to defend a destroyer meant you had failed to anticipate the need to defend Cyprus with a destroyer.
You're a fucking idiot! He didn't know! The British intelligence weren't know! NATO was not told! Nobody was told! The only two countries who were in on this were Israel and the United States of America. Now, allegedly, Saudi Arabia may have known something about the timing. That's the only other country I can think of. But, look, I'm not a fan of Labour and this government. But you can't attack him on this line. It doesn't fucking wash. It really doesn't.
But this smacks of a lack of war-fighting mentality. that reaches right across the government.
War fighting mentality. This is just insane language.
Which
here.
is what we address in this paper about war fighting readiness, where we are not at. And the chiefs of staff are saying we need to be ready for war. So when are we going to be prepared, and prepared for what?
We are finalising the investment plan. That sits with the Strategic Defence Review.
Smacks of an enormous complacency.
Well, this smacks of the fact that for years there was underinvestment by the last government and the stripping out and following out of our armed forces.
We've had 18 months to
Copyright
deal
Ben
with that.
Wallace, who was the
I'm
Defence
not
Secretary.
making a party political point.
Well,
because
honestly,
Well, of course you are. I'm sorry. You are making a party political point, you bellend here. And Keir Starmer's every right to be upset here because he's like, when are you getting the wall ready? When are you getting the machines ready? When are you getting this ready? And it's like, you're the fuckers who tore our defence apart. You're the fuckers who did it. And yet here you are kicking and screaming, why haven't you gotten this ready? Why aren't the warships ready? Why ain't the army ready? Why ain't this ready? Why ain't this ready? And I'm like, you fucking bellend. Your party, you left it in a fucking shit rep.
I agree with Ben
14
Wallace.
years of underinvestment,
I agree with
18
Ben
months for
Wallace.
Labour government.
But take
We're
drones, for
picking-
example.
We're picking
The whole-
up the underinvestment of your
Okay.
government.
It's just absolute bloody joke. Absolute bloody joke. Absolute bellend. I'm sorry, he really is a bellend. For, again, it just infuriates me that, you want to turn this into politics when we're talking about, in a time of war, or on the cusp of war we are. We are on the cusp of war. I wouldn't say we're directly at war, but we're on the cusp of it, that's for sure. To just make this a political point scoring system because your party's so fucking shit right now that nobody gives nobody actually is interested in it, rather than actually coming together to actually make things better. This is something that we discussed on the round table when we talked about Kemi Badenoch and her Conservative Party about, in this time of war, because we are coming close to a time of war where political parties need to be united. And instead, they're trying to use this as an opportunity to take pot shots at the Prime Minister. Again, like I say, I'm not a fan of the Prime Minister. I'm not a fan of this government. Some of the things they're doing. But this is just not the right time for this bollocks. So this is from The Independent here. So Starmer's told we're at war as MPs accuse him of complacency on defence spending. The Prime Minister was challenged by senior MPs over the UK's lack of preparedness for Trump's war with Iran. Excuse me, because my voice is battering around of me. I should also point out I'm not in the best of moods as well tonight, guys, because Dolly's gone out, and Dolly doesn't normally go out, and it's been more than an hour and a half, and we don't know where the hell she is. The last live stream. Last week, I think it was last week Monday, she went out and she came straight back in. I got a text message as the live stream started. But she's been out for a long time, and this is very scary indeed because she's a very, very paranoid cat. And the fact that she's not even near the house is very, very worrying indeed. So, yeah, forgive me if I'm not in the best of moods. So Keir Starmer's been accused of complacency. The Prime Minister clashed with both Labour and Tory MPs as he appeared before the Commons Liaison Committee, made up of the chairs of parliamentary select committees, where it was challenged with the claims that the UK is at war. The appearance came ahead of the Prime Minister's chairing a crucial meeting of the Emergency Cobra to prepare for the war impact on the cost of living, as he admitted to MPs that he was unable to give a timetable for the end of the conflict despite Donald Trump declaring a ceasefire. Why are MPs asking the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom when this conflict is going to end, when he's not the one, and when he and the United Kingdom did not start this war, didn't want to participate in this war, don't have any says in the attack range or whatever? Why the hell would you even ask that question? What? It's a complete total waste of time. You're asking the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, when's the war in Iran going to end? How the fuck is he supposed to know when Donald Trump changes his mind every 5 seconds? Come on. She is very much a house cat, Viper Scott. Yeah. She's very much a house cat. But she's learned how to open the cat flap now. So, put the litter tray outside the dirty one, Reganelite. I don't see what that's going to do to bring her back. Like, all we can do is kind of wait. All we can do is wait on that. I'll wait on her. But the concerns expressed forcefully by MPs, my missus will message me if Dolly does come back in, so I will let you guys know immediately because I've got my phone on. So she'll message me as soon, if Dolly does come in. But the concerns expressed forcefully by MPs on the liaison committee are reflecting in polling by Ipsos, released on Monday just ahead of Sir Keir's appearance, revealing that concerns about defensive issues has more than doubled since last month. Ipsos found the public worried about the UK's defence was up by 16% to 31%, putting it up 3 places to 3rd behind immigration and the economy on priorities. Yeah, because people feel that there's a war coming and we're not ready for it. That's the general feeling there. She's already had dinner, Kirsty. Yeah, she's already had dinner. During a difficult community hearing, a flustered Keir Starmer was asked how long he expects the conflict to continue. Yeah, what? Again, like, why would you waste time asking this question? Like, it's just a stupid question to ask him. I think all our focus and energy has to be on the swift de-escalation, but we've got a plan on the basis that it could go on for some time. That, in the way, we'll plan this afternoon. And that makes sense. Like, you might as well plan for the long term. You have to plan for the long term because if you just literally assume this war is going to go on for another 6 months, just assume it. You're better off assuming. At one point, got visibly angry. Yeah, we already seen that bit. He was described as no Winston Churchill by Donald Trump. Yeah, like that's going to make a bloody difference there. Kirsty, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. It's evident that the Tories are bloodthirsty for war. They are very bloodthirsty for war. They are really extremely bloodthirsty for war. But we are not ready for it. Like, we are not ready for it. We don't have the soldiers. We don't have the equipment. We don't have the defense capabilities. Not even on this island, we don't have defense capabilities. You know, and it infuriates me at a time when we're supposed to be dealing with the cost of living crisis. And, like, we've pumped, like, this Labour government have pumped so much money into defence. And all I can think of is, where the fuck's all the money gone? Like, because they talk so much about so much money going into defence, and I'm scratching my head thinking, where the fuck is all the money gone? Where's it all gone? Like, it boggles my mind. We should be stockpiling our own drones. We should be stockpiling our own drones as a defensive measure. Thank you, Kirsty, for that there. It's the smell if she got a bit lost. Okay then. So, all right. Should I put it? Should I tell her to do that now then? Should I tell my missus to go and do that now then, Witchy? It was also challenged over the lack of Royal Naval ships in the Mediterranean when President Trump launched his war on Iran, and it questions over why the UK was ill-prepared to protect the brutal, crucial bases in Cyprus. It's not like, it was bombarded or anything. It was one drone, and it wasn't even from Iran. We've already established this. Dumbass Sir Bernard Jenkins, we already read that. We already know about all this because we saw the clip. Pointing to Winston Churchill, we know about that. Former Defence Secretary Sir Ben once claimed that he was in government, that the armed forces have been hollowed out and underfunded. However, earlier in the chairman of the Defence Select Committee was also scathing at the lack of preparedness of the government's crisis in the Middle East. He said, we are seeing reports of the US significantly ramping up its forces around Iran in preparation for the attack. When they started the war, it was embarrassing. We couldn't even get one single naval asset in the region. Okay, give me 1 second then, if that's the case, switching off. I'm going to replay. I'm going to play one of the clips here while I go and clip from the liaison committee for you guys. While I go and do that then. This is the one we just covered, yeah. I was literally about to mention him here. Yeah, the British people are rightly being concerned about our own safety here. So I'm just going to play this while I just do that now, guys. Just.
It's good what we're doing with allies, but I think the British public will rightly be concerned about our own safety, because forget a golden dome or a platinum dome or any other dome, we have not made any such investments in our own defence. And would you not agree that the public will be concerned about the ability of Russia or another adversary to launch ballistic missiles, and we have no way of defending ourselves?
Yeah, look, we constantly assess this, and we do have very effective ways of defending ourselves, and I don't want to raise levels of public anxiety. They're anxious about what they're already seeing on their television screens. They're anxious about the impact it will have on them, particularly economically, in their households. And I don't want to raise their levels of anxiety. I can tell you our military personnel, our security and intelligence services are working literally 24/7 to keep us safe and doing a very good job
We all
in
pay
that
tribute
regard.
to their bravery.
Well, that was pretty good timing anyway. So, yeah, criticism once again on Keir Starmer, and that was not very smart of me, was it? Oh. I left the screen. I left the screen blank, didn't I? That wasn't very smart. Let me do it again, guys.
It's good what we're doing with allies, but I think the British public will rightly be concerned about our own safety, because forget a golden dome or a platinum dome or any other dome, we have not made any such investments in our own defence. And would you not agree that the public will be concerned about the ability of Russia or another adversary to launch ballistic missiles, and we have no way of defending ourselves?
Yeah, look, we constantly assess this, and we do have very effective ways of defending ourselves, and I don't want to raise levels of public anxiety. They're anxious about what they're already seeing on their television screens. They're anxious about the impact it will have on them, particularly economically, in their households. And I don't want to raise their levels of anxiety. I can tell you our military personnel, our security and intelligence services are working literally 24/7 to keep us safe and doing a very good job
We all
in
pay
that
tribute
regard.
to their
And it's a really impossible. It's an impossible situation for Keir Starmer. I think it's a really impossible situation for Keir Starmer on this situation there. I did that with Chief. Well, we'll see a bit later on what happens if anything. But yeah, cross fingers, guys, that Dolly comes back. Cross fingers. So questions been mounting since Iran launched its drone strikes on Cyprus. One hit in the UK base. Iran did not. This is not true. This is not true. This was already confirmed by the. Why is the Independent saying that Iran struck the base? That's not true. This is a lie. This is a lie to the British public. The Independent needs to correct the record here. Viper Scott, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. Appreciate that. There. It's okay. We're gonna go view the gang there. Okay. These people have got accustomed to use war as a business, and now they are losing money and wonder why. Yeah. I hate it, too. HMS Dragon was deployed, only just arrived in the Mediterranean and needs 6 days. Hurry for preparation. Keir Starmer said it takes normally 6 weeks for it to be changed over, and they did it in 6 days, which is pretty impressive. The issue has been embarrassing for the UK. Why has it been embarrassing for the UK? Again, like after the Greek and French governments were able to deploy naval assets to defend Cyprus before the UK. Yeah, it might have something to do with the Conservatives. Ask them. It came from Lebanon. Or Israel, one of the two. We don't know for sure. It definitely did not come from Iran. Why, I don't know. It's really infuriating me that they've put that in there. This is that they've said this here. This is rot. This is false. This is misleading. I suppose it's worth covering any more of it. I think we got the gist of it anyway. To be fair, guys, because we're all on it. But look, it is an impossible situation for Sir Keir Starmer, and I would much rather have him than Nigel Farage or Kemi Baganout in this situation. I generally would. We would be at war right now if it was one of those two. We would have been sending soldiers, and we would have been wasting billions and billions of pounds. Not only that, the government would be ramping up increases in taxes to pay for the expenses of the war as well. It would detach ourselves even further from Europe and other NATO allies if we had gone into this war neck deep instead of being on par with the rest of the European nations as well, with the exception of Gaza and how Keir Starmer's, in terms of foreign policy, he's doing a really crap job in obviously how he's treating Israel and whatnot. So my understanding is that the French intelligence service, I think someone said it in the chat today, or was it yesterday? I just read somewhere that French intelligence service had said that apparently they told Keir Starmer that it was Israel that launched the drone strike, but we're not 100% sure on that there. Glacier Gal, thank you so much for being a member. Appreciate it. Well, thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Hope you are doing well. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate the support. Thank you. Steve McMahon, good morning to you over in New Zealand. Hope you are doing well. And Sarah Davis, good to see you there. My mental health is getting worse by day. This world is effed. Sarah, you need to distract yourself. You've got to distract yourself. Got to find other things to distract yourself. Listening to politics all the time is not good for your mental health. Richard, I didn't see you there in the chat. Hope you are doing well. I'm sorry I didn't spot your name earlier. I hope you are doing well there. Apologies if I've missed anyone. I hope I haven't missed anyone there. Billy, if I didn't say hello to you, good to see you there as well. Sorry. Right, let's switch gears, guys, because we got, like I said, we got a lot to cover. I've already gone quite a lot in. I want to finish by at least 9:30. I don't know if we will or not, but we'll try to. Let's go to this one here. And for some reason, I haven't sorted out it's not very bright of me. Once again, I didn't sort out the screen. Absolutely silly of me there. Alright, so this is exclusive from the iPaper guys. So Britons are to be paid. Not you pay. You're going to be paid £550 to judge the controversial digital ID scheme. So a people's panel will be enlisted to give their views on the digital identity system against the backdrop of significant public opposition to the plans. So this is one way of definitely doing it. So yeah, we'll give you money, guys, because what's a better incentive for people to change their opinions than offer them money? And this is exactly what this is here. £550 is quite a lot. Quite a lot of money to offer to people to do it. So if I got offered that money to do it, to be on the controversial digital ID scheme, would I do it? Yes, I would, actually. £550, yeah, definitely would. Obviously, I'd be giving my data to them, which is obviously comes with a great risk as well. But yeah, I would do it. I would do it for £550. So, and I can see a lot of people doing that. So, but does it make me a fan of the digital ID scheme? No. But it's definitely a good incentive. Yeah, as Pagan says, it's a good incentive. Yeah, I do believe that as well there. Hola, amigo, Martin. Good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Appreciate it. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Good to see you there. Hope you are doing well. Right, so let's read a bit more into this, guys. So it says, members of the public are to be paid £550 each to help shape the government's controversial digital ID scheme, the paper can reveal. The government announced with a People's Panel this month as part of its consultation on the proposed national digital identity system with up to 120 citizens to be selected at random to take part. The paper can reveal that the participants will attend 7 workshops totaling 33 hours, equivalent to around £16.67 an hour, with a full payment made to those who complete all sessions. Travel and accommodation will also be covered, with the panel gathering in Birmingham over 2 weekends, alongside online sessions planned for May and June. The entire engagement process will cost the taxpayer approximately £830,000, drawn from a pre-existing contract with polling firm Ipsos UK signed in March 2024. Around £630,000 has been allocated for the People's Panel itself, with just under £200,000 for a separate strand of outreach focusing on marginalised groups. So the government's put some serious dosh behind all this, that's for sure. Ministers has launched a consultation against the backdrop of significant public opposition to the scheme. This is their way of trying to woo people back onto it. When plans were first announced in September, digital right to work checks were set to be mandatory for all new hires, meaning every employer would be required to use the system to verify that workers were legally entitled to work in the UK. And I said this before, I said this at the time then, and I'll say it at the time now. You can't stop cash in hand. People will still do cash in hand. There's plenty of ways that people can get around the system, and this was not going to stop it. The proposed triggered an immediate backlash. A petition against the plan gathered nearly 3 million signatures, the fourth largest in UK parliamentary history, and drew criticism from across Parliament. The government reversed course in January, dropping the compulsory element for workers, though the Borgia Digital ID project has continued it to advance. As well as the pay panel, the government said it will conduct in-depth interviews and discussions with groups considered to be digitally exclusive or unrepresented, including people over 75, those from very low-income households, people experiencing homelessness or living in temporary accommodation, domestic abuse survivors and care leavers. Darren Jones, the Chief Secretary to the Prime Minister, said that digital ID was going to be about making public service work to ordinary people, and that hearing from the public about where their frustrations lie when engaging with the state is going to be absolutely key to getting this right. He says public trust in the state has been declining for years. Whoever has been in power and people too often feel shut out of decisions. This consultation is going above and beyond to bring people in to all the big debates, all the notary trade-offs too. We're deliberately going out to seek the views of ordinary people from all walks of life right across the country so that it's not the loudest or most powerful voices who are being heard there. Let me just scroll back up because I'm pretty sure I'm not going mad. Yes, Martin did holler with another super chat there. Thank you again, Martin. That's very kind of you. Thank you again. Much appreciate the super chat. Thank you. There. My phone buzzed and it was not the text message I wanted to see. Unfortunately. I'm thinking about getting my EU passport, says Jal. Belfast Agreement is still a block to this, says Viper Scott. Well, they might have to. Yeah. How are they going to get around this? How are they going to get around that? That's a good question. Thank you, Viper Scott, for the £2 super chat. Reached today's super chat goal. Thank you, everyone who contributed. Much appreciated it. Yeah, how are they going to get around that? That's a good question. I don't think they can. The PR needs lots of funds, so I pay my. The PR needs lots of funds, so I pay my dues. Thank you, Martin. Again, that's very kind of you. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. We've got to the today's goal, guys. So thank you all. Thank you everyone for contributing. Appreciate it. Despite the climb down, digital right to work checks will still become compulsory by 2029, meaning employers will be required to verify documents through a digital system rather than manually. Workers will not, however, be required to use the new government-built digital ID to pass them, with a passport, e-visa or other accepted documents remaining valid. Broader rollout of the digital ID beyond employment to cover areas such as benefit, banking and age verification is not expected until 2030 at the earliest. The government has confirmed there will be no legal obligation to hold or present a digital ID, and that physical documents such as passports and driving licenses will remain valid alternatives once the system is in place. Yeah, so there's a lot of problems still before it goes as far as they want it to. Yeah, the Belfast thing totally blanked my mind, and I'm glad you brought that up, Viper Scott, because it's like, what do you do about that? Well, I'm not sure what you can do, because it's like, well, are we just going to exclude? Can we exclude Northern Ireland? It's not very British of us if we exclude Northern Ireland to avoid that idea. Not sure if we want to do that or not. That's the only thing. Look, here's the thing. Right, I'm concerned about private information being that. I'm concerned about the information being handled. I understand the benefits of a digital ID system. I just wish it was the way it was portrayed, the way it's come across, was not very good by the government. I do think it has benefits. I do think having a digital ID does have benefits. I just don't think people should have to be paid for it in any way, shape, or form. But the thing about it around the work system just didn't work at all. I do think everyone should have a form of ID of some sorts, because I think it would just help a lot. I really, really do. But I don't think people should have to pay a penny whatsoever to be in it. I understand. The thing is, I'm kind of sitting on the fence on this one, because there's a part of me where, excuse me, I can see the benefits and the perks of having it, but I see the negatives, the vast negatives that people have about it as well. So I do understand why people have concerns about it. Viper Scott, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Very kind of you. Appreciate that. To Nicholas Linman, Kev51, DJ Marty Moo, I know that name. Dugston and Nico as well have all been gifted membership. Thank you so much, my friend. Thank you so much for your support. That's very, very kind of you. Appreciate that. Much appreciated. Thank you. If they do it, getting the digital ID must not cost. Yeah. Must not cost people, yeah. I have no photo ID at all, and that does create barriers for me. Yeah, having a photo ID does create... not having a photo ID is a barrier. It really does. Like, me and my partner got a two together rail card. We got the digital one on our phones, and it's got our pictures on it as well as the QR code and whatnot. Like, it's a very simple... It's like, that's a form of ID. Obviously, a provisional driving license as well. But again, both these options I just put to you guys cost money. Never mind a passport. They cost money. If you could have an ID that didn't cost you anything on your device, that could be very helpful to you. So, but there's definitely positives and negatives for it. Well, hopefully Scotland, Wales gets independent, and then England won't have to worry about the Belfast Agreement. Yeah, yeah, that's definitely going to be coming down the road here, it's for sure. Reganelite, if you lose your phone, it's gone. If it's on your phone, if it's just a card, that's a bit better. Just my opinion. Well, that's why I don't like using my phone for payments. I like to have the cards, the credit cards and debit cards and whatnot. I don't like having, like, the saying of having all your eggs in one basket. That's what some people do. They have everything all on their phone. Lose your phone, you're gone. That's it. You know, you're buggered, sort of thing. So that's why I don't like I do have my cards on the phone if I wanted to, but I prefer using the card. You know, I just prefer it. You know, that's just me. And yeah, would I prefer like one that I can hold in my hand? Yeah, I would rather prefer that than a digital one, personally. I think the government should give people what they could do. They could say digital ID would be free, but if you wanted a card one, they could charge people for it. They should give people the option to have a manual one, because I think that would be such a big difference to people. I really do. But again, I know people have issues around it as well. There are definitely issues around it. Right, I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because we've already gone. Because we've got a couple of other stories I want to run through as well. So this one's from The Guardian. The ministers are telling high-speed rail to consider slowing the train speed to cut costs. That's right, guys. We want high-speed rail to be slower. The company will assess whether to drop to 186 miles an hour from 224. Will save money and help bring forward the launch. Yeah, guys, because that'll definitely make things better. Dear, oh dear. This has been such a cluster. Such a cluster F, isn't it? So ministers have told High Speed 2 to consider running its trains at lower speeds in an attempt to rein in the spiralling budget and begin operations as soon as possible. HS2 Limited will assess whether limiting the speed to 186 miles an hour instead of 224, which could save money, potentially billions of pounds, in bringing the railway into the early 2030s. Most fast trains in the UK run at a maximum of 125 miles an hour, while high-speed trains to Kent and to the Eurotunnel using HS1 line up to 186 miles an hour, a typical European maximum. In an update to Parliament, the Transport Secretary Heidi Alexander said that since the HS2 Chief Executive Mark Wilde gave his initial findings for a planned reset of the high-speed rail scheme, timeline and budget, the scale of the challenge is becoming even clearer. She said Wilde's work so far showed that HS2 Limited did not have an accurate assessment of how much work had been delivered or of how much was left to do. It is now clear that previous plans significantly underestimated the work required. Yeah, we know this. We've known this for years. We've covered it here. I will never forget that video by Alex of Political X that he did a few years ago on it, and it was just shocking the amount of money, the vast amount of billions of pounds that were wasted on this project. Was absolutely insane. 186 miles an hour, still pretty quick though. It is still pretty quick. But the thing is that we're pouring so much money into this project. You know, it's so bad. Like it says to me, like, you can't trust the Conservatives when it comes for infrastructure projects, because this was literally the one thing that they started under them, and it's the worst thing. It's the only infrastructure project they really did during their time in power, in between 2010 and 2026. The one big infrastructure project, and they couldn't even get the one and only infrastructure project right. Tells you everything you need to know about them. She said that no railway in the UK was currently engineered for 360 kilometres, adding, this means that the project would have to wait for HS2 tracks to be built before testing any trains. An approach could increase costs and delay the completion of the project. The alternative would have to be to send trains abroad to test. And yeah, that would cost a fortune just to send them abroad. Praised while leadership and HS2 was now working, meeting construction milestones, including completing extraffications of all 23 miles of deep tunnel needing to opening the stage of the railway. Government hopes to hammer down the price before it publishes the full reset plan, including an overall budget reset in 2026 prices. After several years of soaring inflation during COVID, with labour and steel costs rising sharply, the figure is widely expected to surpass £100 billion. £100 billion, bloody hell. Kind of already knew that, but I just don't like seeing that number. I don't like reminding me of that. Monday's 6-month update puts the total expenditure of the date at 46.2 billion at current prices, including 2.6 billion spent at the northern leg of HS2 from Birmingham to Manchester, which was axed by Rishi Sunak in 2024. Government sources said the speed of the trains and associated costs showed the gold plating and needless overspent designs for what could be the fastest railway in the world, drawn up by previous Conservative government. The fastest railway in the world. They completely and totally underestimated underestimated things. My partner making me jump there, saying, "I just heard the cat flap and I can't see anything." I was like, "Okay." It's like, is the cat there or not? Is Dolly there or not? For those who are coming in, guys, Dolly's gone missing, and we're hoping she turns up. So I took Witchigoff's advice and put the litter tray outside. Hopefully she'll turn up. Well said, I made a commitment to the Transport Secretary that would regain control of HS2 and bring an end to the project's increased costs and delays. With performance moving in the right direction and driven by the hard work of 30,000 people on the ground, we are rightly exploring options to create further efficiencies. Speed has never been the primary objective. This railway will deliver better journeys, more capacity on the network, and economic growth, all of which are vital to the country's future prosperities. So the missus has just messaged me. The cat, Dolly, is in the living room, guys. She is in the living room. Thank you, Witchigoff, for that idea. Much appreciated. Thank you, Witchy. I appreciate it. Dolly is safe, guys. Dolly is safe. Dolly is safe. That is good news. That is very good to hear. Sorry, guys. I had to share that with you guys because that was really, really important. Sorry, don't get me wrong. This is important as well, but you know, family is important as well. So Dolly is home, guys. Dolly is safe. Very, very good news. Yes, in terms of obviously the cost there, £100 billion. £100 billion. Just let that number continue to marinate in your mind, guys. £100 billion. Think of all the things we could do with £100 billion. It's fucking insane. Absolutely insane, guys. It grinds my gears. Honestly, I'm not fussed about the reduction in mileage. I'm really not, because it's already costing an arm and a fucking leg just to build it. You know, I was in favour of high speed 2, but I also am aware of the cost, because like I want more infrastructure, in particular the north, you know, because I don't live because I'm fortunate enough where I live that there's plenty of transport and rail infrastructure and all that kind of stuff. But for me, it's like the north just doesn't get enough, you know. And this original high speed 2, right, was supposed to go all the way up from London, all the way into Scotland, all the way up to Glasgow, and then Glasgow, I think, or Edinburgh, one of the two. Apologies, but it's supposed to go all the way up to Scotland, and it should have started there. High speed rail 2 should have started up there, not in fucking London, where London's got everything. They should have started up there. But no, London's got to take priority as always. But yeah, 100 billion, guys. Let that number sink in. How much better things could have been of NHS education and everything else. I know. Give Dolly her treats. I can't do that right now, guys. I'm live streaming. Mrs. has just said, she said, fucking little shit. I grew up learning about the heritage of railway building. This is so gutting. It says, one of you pagan. Yeah, it is indeed. It is indeed. Didn't Boris Johnson's dad make a lot of money off HS2? Oh shit, I think you're right, Richard. I forgot about that. Yeah, I think so. Stephen, here's the down payment on the £100 billion. Well, we're 20 New Zealand dollar super chat. Well, guys, we've still got 900 and we've still got a lot of money still to pay back, but Steve has got us going as further. Thank you, Steve. In all seriousness, thank you so much, Steve, for the 20 New Zealand dollars. It's very kind of you there. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Tories make a lot of money off HS2. A lot, not just the Tories. A lot of their friends have made a lot of money at the expense of it because a lot of money funneled out and they have no idea where it went. They have no idea where it went. That is for sure. Right, guys, we need a funny video. So here is the most pointless video you will ever see. I say it's not pointless. It's literally 8 seconds. But you know what? I don't care if it's AI. It's funny. It's funny. So let's just watch a chicken fire a bazooka into a KFC store, guys. Let's play it one more time, just so you guys have seen it. Done some. I'm a bit disappointed the explosion wasn't as big, but you know, I think he's made it very clear to the Colonel, you know, that he's making his intentions very, very clear there. That's for sure, guys. But yeah, guys. Chicken with a bazooka firing into a KFC. You think you've seen it all? No, you haven't, guys. I suspect foul play there. With that chicken, it probably was. It probably was. Oh dear, I dear. Oh, that's a good one, guys. What did you guys behind think anyway? Ollie's a lot happy now. Ollie's happy. Ollie's got his happy face on there. For those who don't know, this is the gang behind us. If you're a YouTube member, you get emojis of all these guys. So we have Blaze the Charmander. We got Quackers, who was democratically elected to be called Quackers by the chat. We have Ollie the Octopus. Well, Ollie was the first. And then we got Pingu, the Foreign Secretary for McDonald's Island. That's not a joke. He actually is the Foreign Secretary. That's not actually a joke. It's actually serious. It's a very serious job, guys. Very serious job. He has a good relationship with Putin, which is very concerning, but he won't tell me about that. And then we got Cash Dummy the Cookie Monster, who decided to knock over Ollie off the orb. The all-powerful orb, which one day, guys, will be repowered, reignited, guys. A day will come where the orb will be turned back on in all of its illumination, for sure. So, yes, I wanted, because you haven't seen the gang for a while, so I wanted to share that with you guys, because I keep saying I'm going to share them with you, and then I totally forget because I'm half asleep. Clearly. Just one other thing before I get the next article up, just to remind you guys, I have recorded Patreon videos for the rest of the week. They are free videos. Free. That's right, guys. Free videos on Patreon. You don't need to start. Don't have to be a paid member, but you can sign up as a member for free on Patreon. The link is in the description there. And every Monday to Friday, there'll be a video dropping on there if you want to see additional content. So do check that out. Most of the American news that I'm putting on Patreon this week, guys, it's not actually not many of them are related to the Iran war. It's actually more domestic issues in the US that I'm covering. So if you want to see something a little bit different, there, do check that out. Tomorrow I'll be recording the rest of the Rumble videos just for reference there, because I haven't had a chance to record them as well, guys. Right, Brexit, guys. So this is from the Financial Times. Keir Starmer is to bring forward the EU rules legislation in the King's speech. Yes, guys, this is from the Financial Times. So some Labour officials hope the bill will provide a Brexit dispute with the Tories and Reform UK. So they will not be happy about this at all. But the Tories, the Daily Mail and the Reforms can go fuck themselves over this. This is good. This is one step closer to aligning ourselves better with better here. And I like the fact they're putting it in the King's speech, because then there's not going to be too much kerfuffle around with the right-wing politicians getting in the way of it. So if you put it in the King's speech, obviously it gets to jump a bit of the queue here. So this is quite significant indeed, guys. So let me read a bit more into this. So Keir Starmer is to bring forward legislation in May's King's speech. When is King's speech is in May? I need to remember that. Someone remind me of that. Like someone DM me on Discord just to remind me of that, so I can pencil that in. The King's speech to allow ministers to import a wave of EU laws to Britain as the Prime Minister seeks to reconnect with the Europe's single market. Chancellor Rachel Reeves last week set out plans to align with EU rules in certain sectors in the national interest, quote unquote. And the new bill will create a framework for a swift transfer to the statuette books in the UK's laws made in Brussels, reversing a central tenet of Brexit. This is very, very good indeed. Again, I know obviously we want to go headlong back into the single market and customs union, but I'm not going to ravage for 10 minutes about why we can't do that. I've already explained it to you guys. You guys already know my position on that, but this is good steps. Obviously, the question is, if we get a reform government, which is what's likely at the moment in the next general election, how much damage will this be in the future? The bill has not yet been given a formal title, but officials briefed on the plan confirmed it will be in the King's speech at the start of a new parliamentary session in May. So sources from the FT have already confirmed this is definitely going to be in the King's speech here. In the first instance, the bill would allow Britain to adopt EU regulations to clear the way for the EU-UK food and agricultural trade deal. Woo! That's very good. That's very, very good. Especially for our food sector there. That's a big positive, which both sides hope to conclude at a summit around the time of the 10th anniversary of the Brexit vote. The UK has identified 76 EU directives and regulations as being in scope, covering areas from food hygiene to organic food pets to marmalade. This is very, very positive stuff. But it would also pave the way for ministers to transfer other EU laws onto the UK statuette books in the future. That's good. With Reeves hoping that Britain can reconnect with the single market on a sector-by-sector basis. Interesting. But it will need to go through the laws, question mark. I don't have an answer to that, Richard. Someone in the chat will better know from it. I would know than me on that. If someone wants to confirm that, that would be appreciated. Jal says, the great start Reganelite, it will reduce paperwork. Efficiently, people will feel the effects. Yes. Whether people will feel the effects is another thing. I don't know about that, but because, the media will be ramping it up. But yeah, hopefully people will start feeling it there. That this has taken so long doesn't surprise me, given how much the Tories and Ush diverged from the EU standards and reg. Was never going to be a quick job. No, it was never going to be a quick job here. But this is this is very, very good indeed. Although government officials say Britain will seek to carve out from some elements of the EU rules, and that MPs will have some kind of oversight mechanism. Okay, there's going to be some kind of oversight mechanism to add. The bill will still be highly contentious from a democratic perspective. Yep. In her mass economic lecture last Tuesday, Reeves will set out the scale of the exercise when she says Britain will keep its regulatory autonomy for sectors with unique characteristics on strategic importance for the UK, but that should be the exception, not the norm. Some Labour officials hoping the bill will provoke a Brexit row with the Conservatives and Reform UK, reminding voters that their opponents supported leave in the EU referendum, whose 10th anniversary is on the 23rd of June. The King's speech has been penciled in for the week after the crucial elections on May the 7th in Scotland. Interesting. Wales and for English councils, giving Starmer the chance to reset his government on what are expected to be a terrible set of results for Labour and a new round leads speculation. This is clever. This is clever from Keir Starmer, because Keir Starmer knows he's going to get a hammer in at local elections. This is one way of realigning himself here. Yeah, that's very interesting in timing indeed there. Do it to try and basically do some kind of bounce back straight after it here, rather than people trying to gun for him as soon as he crashes and burns at these elections, which he will crash and burn at these elections here. It's going to be interesting indeed. Lords can't block a manifesto pledge, says Pagan. UK cannot enter a customs union, but they can have a customs union with the EU. Yes. And you need to get the thing is, you need to get all states on board anyway and there's a long process to join the customs union. And not only that, it's a lot of paperwork, time and hassle for the European Union, as much as it is for us. And it could all get thrown into the fire if a Reform and Conservative government comes in, because they'll just pull us straight out of it, which will basically mean, and the Europe is not fucking stupid like we are. They're not going to bother wasting time doing it if we're going to get a right-wing government in the next general election. It's just not worth it. Thank you, Viper Scott, for the £5 super chat. He says, press the button. Okay, that's the problem. If Reform or the Tories get in, they will overturn all of this. Reganelite. It needs to be permanently put in place. I'm not sure how you can permanently put it in place, though. The thing is, we need to have. This isn't actually something that's been boggling my mind. Like, we need to have a constitution of some sorts. We need to have a constitution, and it needs to be a case of that you can only change the constitution if there's like an 80-20% support for the change in the constitution. We need to have a constitution that is so strong, so legally binding, that in order to make amendments to it, it has to be like 80-20. It can't be like 50. It can't be 52-48 or 60-40. It has to be a massive majority of MPs wanting to change the constitution. We need a constitution, something that will safeguard fundamental rights for everyone. We need something like that, because every single law can be altered or changed in some way, shape or form with the current system we have. We need a constitution. That is something we definitely need. So what else is there? So far, there's been little sign that either Nigel Farage, a Reform leader, or Kemi Badenoch wants a new fight over Brexit, which is now widely unpopular with voters, including many Leave supporters. They're just going to use the immigration tool. But I wonder, Farage will probably dodge the questions on Leave. He'll try to dodge the questions on it, most likely. Farage party issued a one-sentence statement: after the next election, we will reverse Reeve's moves to drag us back into the single market. Okay, so they've made a statement already. Andrew Griffin, Conservatives Shadow Business Secretary, is due to tell the International Business and Diplomatic Exchange Conference on Monday that Britain fought hard over many years to regain regulatory independence from Europe, and with good reason. Conservatives will not give up our freedoms to make up our own rules. Andrew, you are a fucking idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about. International business as well. Under a common understanding between the UK and EU agreed last year that Britain can seek to carve out from relative EU legislation, for example, if it wants to maintain its ban on live animal exports and a liberal UK regime for novel foods, but this is subject to negotiation with Brussels. Yep. Jill Rutter at the Institute for Government noted that the EU had agreed to consult Britain on whether developing policy in areas such as food and energy trade, where the two sides had agreed to deepen cooperation. The question has been, what does the decision shaping which we've been offered looks like, she says. Although government officials say MPs will have some kind of oversight mechanism over individual regulations, most of them will be transferred via secondary legislation known as a statutory instrument, giving MPs little say. Joel Renland from the UK in a Changing Europe think tank says, clearly Farage and Badenoch do not want to talk about Brexit and draw attention to something that is seen to be bad for the economy. But if they believe there is something really egregious about the EU setting laws without Parliament having a say, they might pick it up from a democratic principles point of view. David Frost says the new bill will sideline democratic EU lawmakers by making a whole range of EU laws applicable to Britain without giving us any say in them. This is not alignment, subordination. No, it is not. Do your fucking homework. Cabinet Office said we've already agreed that the UK will help shape new rules in any disputes that will be resolved by an independent arbitrary panel, not an EU court. Independent arbitration panel. We'll provide details on legislation in due course, and Parliament will play its full constitutional role in scrutinising, debating and shaping it. Yeah, but obviously spin it in some way, shape, or forms. But yes, guys, this is a very interesting story indeed. I have to keep an eye on it for sure, guys. Turkey has a similar agreement. They have to keep regulations to keep their trade deals with the EU. Despite being under an audacious government, they're not completely authoritarian. No, I agree. Turkish government are not completely authoritarian. I like to think Turkey are kind of like... I like to think of Turkey as the middle country. The one that can the one that can talk with Middle East nations, the one that can talk with Russia and with Europe. You know, it requires Turkey always requires a president and a leader who can balance all these different balance Europe, Russia, and the Middle East to a certain extent. Erdogan, I'm not a fan of Erdogan because of some of his political schemes that he does in there, but he's very, in terms of foreign policy, he keeps that balance very well for him. For his country, I will say. No worries, Kirsty. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for your super chat as well. Appreciate it there. You have a good night. Appreciate you coming in. Thank you for that. Right, let's keep going, guys, because we got, like I said, we've got 2 more stories here. I want to try and get to them as quickly as we can here. This one here is from the Independent. So this headline is: Downing Street is insisting that France and the UK are united on small boats as a deal nears expiry date. The £478 million deal was put in place by the Tories in 2023. So obviously we are the deal that we have with the French with regards to small boats. That current deal that was run by the Conservatives is running out at the end of this week. I'm pretty sure it's fair to say that that Labour have been talking to the French about this. Now, I don't like us giving money to the French to deal with this issue that we should be dealing ourselves to a certain extent. There's a lot of money to be giving to the French government. And also, like, there are times where the French government does pull their neck up and help out. But there are times where they kind of just let it slide. And it's kind of like, there's times where they put in the effort and there's times that are not. However, as many of you know, in agreement with me here, the biggest problem is, of course, is that there are no safe and legal routes for people to come to the UK and apply via a normal system. There's no way for them to do that. If we had such a system on Calais, on the French side, that would resolve a lot of issues, but nobody wants to do that because that would solve that would solve the small boat crisis in an instance, and nobody wants to actually do that. Everyone knows for a fact that would end the small boat crossings, but they don't want to do it because it is so-called opens up the floodgates of people coming across, whereas those people are going to be coming across either way there. Switzerland halts arms exports to the US, says Billy Kershaw. Good. That's good to hear. That's the first time I've ever heard a country saying we're not going to export arms to the US. A neutral country as well. That's very fascinating to see that. So Britain and France are united in their efforts to curb small boat crossings, Downing Street says, as the government seeks to renew a crucial migration agreement with Paris before it expires next week. The current arrangement, valued at nearly £500,000, it's a waste of money. They're not doing a good job at it at all, says Scarif on Twitch. It is a lot of money being wasted. That's something I agree. Like, it is a lot of money, and I don't like that. There are times the French does do some work. Like, there is some, but yeah, I understand. Like, it's a lot of money there. I can just see reform would lose its only reason to exist if we did that, says Sarah Davis. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Number 10 has emphasised the need for long-term value for money in any successor deal. The previous Conservative government, when announcing the £478 million package in 2023, said it would finance a new detention centre in France and hundreds of additional law enforcement officers on French shores. This is what they stated. Despite the investment, channel crossings have increased, with 41,472 people arriving in the UK by small boat in 2025. What's the number in 2026? Does anyone know? Well, how many people have crossed over in 2026, out of curiosity? I'm generally curious. The Home Secretary, evil, wicked witch of the West, Shabina Mahmood, is now facing considerable pressures to reduce those numbers. Good luck doing that. She's understood to be advocating for new agreements to incorporate performance-related clauses, which would be tie funded directly to the proportion of boats intercepted by French authorities, according to reports in the Time. That's a good way of doing it. That's a good way of doing it. That's a good way of doing it. That's a very good way of doing it, because you're basically saying, well, if you depending on how many you round up, we'll give you this amount, sort of thing. If you do it based on performance, that definitely that incentivizes them to do more. A Home Office delegation is in Paris. By the way, I just want to make it very, very clear here. I don't support any of this. Like, we should be allowing them safe and legal passage. Okay, let's be clear about that. A Home Office delegation is in Paris this week to negotiate the terms of the renewal, as reported by The Scum. Downing Street, however, declined to specify the financial commitment that the government is preparing to make for a fresh deal when questioned by reporters on Monday. Also, whether Prime Minister Keir Starmer wanted to see an existing deal improved, as his spokesperson said, we always want to improve where we can improve our ability to prevent small boat crossings. I won't go ahead of negotiations, but we're looking for how we can build flexibility and innovation into any deal with the French to ensure that there is a long-term value for money and a real impact on small boat crossings that builds on the 40,000 crossing attempts that have been prevented since the government came into office. Asked whether the existing deal provided value for money, he said, the inventions were a testament to the work our team has been undertaking with the French teams. We are united in wanting to stop small boat crossings, which put lives at risk, the official added. So far this year, some 4,169 people have arrived in the UK in small boats. So this is the number. So we're in mid to late March, and already 4,000 people have arrived in the UK. According to official figures, include 190 people in 2 vessels on last Sunday. And this is just the cold period, guys. This is just the cold period. It's only going to get worse. I suppose the real question is it value for money? Is it value for money? No, I don't think it's value for money. Personally, I just don't think it's value for money. I just don't like this the way we are treating this whole the language we're using about immigrants, the actions that we're doing, that we're trying to push as much human rights, trying to push the human rights laws to the limits in order to try and justify stopping people coming over. It just doesn't sit right with me a lot, guys. It just doesn't. I feel like a lot of that money is just wasted. It's just a complete waste of money, I do feel. Because I remember the story of Zach Polanski going over there during Christmas, and they can't leave. Those migrants have to cross. They can't they can't settle in France. They can't go back. They're trapped in where they are. They're trapped where they are. It's a really, really disgusting system, the way they're being treated. The French can't stand them because it's a bad image for Calais. The UK government doesn't want them. The majority of the public doesn't want them, and it's just like, and they can't go back. So so what do they do when they're stuck over there? It's really, really infuriating, guys. Things are so slow in the UK. This summer, 30 migrants from Morocco have arrived here, and 1 week after that, 2 women were allowed to stay on. The rest will return to their origins. I think I might claim asylum in Fiji this winter and go and live on a beach. Yeah, I'd like to claim asylum in the Maldives, personally. Only problem is there's not much internet out there, though. That's the only thing. Okay, guys, this last story I've got for you guys is... well, you know, Dave McGuinness has said that we are complicit in the Iran war. Well, this pretty much kind of nails our coffers to it, that's for sure. So this is from Barline Times. UK's linked components have been traced to the Tomahawk missile that struck the Iranian school. Debris analysis and UK procurement records reveal British links to the weapon that killed over 100 school children in Iran, reports IS Oman and Ian Oliverton. So, if there's not any more proof that we're complicit, This pretty much is it. To be fair, we're already complicit in the war in Gaza because of what we've been giving the IDF there, as well as in the West Bank of what Israel have been doing there. But this, if this is true, this really hurts. This actually makes me ashamed. Makes me really ashamed to be British, never British or English in any way, shape or form, because knowing that this government, our so-called government, were complicit in the killing of children here, even though it wasn't directly one of our Tomahawk missile, the fact that we're linked to this because of components really doesn't sit well with me at all. Actually, a part of me makes me feel sick. It really, I cannot emphasize how important we need to detach our forces from the US. We are too intertwined with the United States when it comes to our military, our warfare, soldiers, bases, all that kind of stuff. We need to do a lot of detaching, and I know that's not something that can be done overnight. It is something that is going to take years to do, but we need to detach from the United States. We have to. For our sake and for our children's sake, we really need to. So, components linked to two defensive companies linked to the UK, BAE Systems and Iranian UK, have been identified in the Tomahawk cruise missile that struck the girls' school in Iran, killing multiple children, Byline Times can reveal. The findings relate to both a subsystem manufacturing by Ball Aerospace, now owned by BAE Systems, and to guidance and electronic components produced by Ryanair UK's facility in Scotland. Analysis of footage of debris from the site by the London-based research charity Action on Armed Violence, combined with US procurement data, strongly suggests, it's not guaranteed, guys, alright, just want to put that out there, that firms linked to Britain's defence industry played a role in producing subsystems for the weapon used in the February 28th attack on the girls' school in the southern city of Minyab. Casualty figures vary, but consensus is since conveyed at what was between 165 and 168 Iranians killed. The vast majority believed to be school children attending morning class at the time of the strike. The missile hit before 10:45 a.m. local time when classrooms were in session, collapsing sections of the concrete structure, and scattering debris across classrooms and the playground. Video recording of a missile strike in the vicinity and the aftermath of smoke rising from the school started circulating online immediately after the incident. Next door to the school was an Iranian military base, which was likely to be the intending target. Yeah, this has been established in previous live streams that there was also a report that that it was an AI error and not a human error as well, because apparently the AI factored in that this was the target. So apparently AI played a role in this as well, allegedly. Footage released by the Iranian state broadcaster, the IRIB, obtained by China's media group, showed missile fragments scattered among the rubble of the destroyed school. The wreckage bears markings consistent with the Tomahawk cruise missile system, a weapon widely used by American forces. The Pentagon has launched a formal investigation into the Iranian school blast since then, and they still have not given us an answer ever since then. The standard protocol is we're investigating, which is what the Israeli government always does every time they kill innocent people in Gaza, in the West Bank, or in Lebanon. Their same situation is we're investigating. We're investigating. We are investigating. We're opening an investigation, which basically means fuck off. We're not got nothing to say to you. The Iranian government has a documented recording of dismembering misinformation for propaganda purposes. There, therefore, remains a risk that material released by Iranian sources have been altered. Yeah, that's always a possibility. However, independent analysis of video, satellite imagery, and debris has consistently identified the munitions as a Tomahawk cruise missile, a system used by the United States and its allies in this conflict, and no credible source has contested the origin of the recovered fragments. One identified recovered component is marked DSLANTENNA, part of the satellite data link that marks that allows the missile to receive a mid-flight guidance updates. Manufacturer marking identify Ball Aerospace and Technology Corp, a US-based contractor. So it was this is one of the components marked on it there. Yeah, that looks American to me. The fragment also carries a contract number. Records from the US Naval Air System Command showed that this contract was awarded to Reganelite in 2014 for the production of Tomahawk Block 5 missiles, 6 missiles. With subsequent modifications expanding the order, the recovery component can be linked directly to that production program. While the procurement data seen by Byline Times also ports to continuously in the UK's role within the Tomahawk program. Recent contracts continue to list Rhinos UK Gliros facility as part of the program. Although detailed information on the current subsystem is partially classified, there is no evidence of any recent changes to the UK supply of core components such as antennas or guidance systems that were involved in the strike. Since acquiring Ball Aerospace in 2024, BAE Systems has regained its capabilities in radio frequency and phased array multiple antennas technologies, making it likely that similar components remain in production under UK ownership. At the level of a single strike, arbitration remains hard, but UK-linked components are a consistent feature of the Tomahawk system, even if it's seldom possible to tie them to an individual weapon using a particular attack, as we have managed to do so in this case. Ball Aerospace was acquired by BAE Systems in 2024. The UK headquartered defence group now owns the company that manufactures the missile's satellite communications antenna. US issued CAGE, that's commercial and government entity, code 13933, seen both on the weapon fragment and in US public records, makes this clear here. So this is the information here. Yeah, US manufacturer, Wavefront Technology, the vending order. Sarah Andre, BAE Systems Space and Mission input there. This is good stuff from Barline here. Overall, approximately 4% of production work share of the US Tactical Tomahawk program is based in the UK. This work is carried out at Reganelite. I know I'm mispronouncing that name, guys, I know. UK's facility in Jaguar, Scotland. Sorry, Scotland. My sympathies. Which manufacture electronic and guidance components for missile systems. They received more than $15 million for its contribution to its production lot, according to public financial records. UK parliamentary records have also previously confirmed that components produced at the site are exported to the United States for integration into Tomahawk missiles, indicating a sustained role in the program. Right. So this unclassified US selective acquisition report, which provides public procurement and subcontractor level data on defence contracts, also shows that the UK plays an official role in the Tactical Tomahawk program. Interesting. The UK government does not routinely disclose what British-made components are incorporated into Western systems used by Allied forces, nor does it publish information about how such systems are ultimately deployed. This contrasts with the United States, where detailed procurement data is publicly available, enables tracing of production histories at country level. Well, that's not good for us, is it? This is just the market as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, I do see that. I get that point, Pagan. The identification of UK-linked components does not itself establish legal responsibility for the MIAV strike. You sure about that? You sure about that? I mean, it is. We do have parts of that missile, so we're not technically free here. Are you trying to give us an outlet here? I don't think we should be trying to give ourselves an outlet here. British funds were not involved in the decision to fire that missile. Yep, that's true. And participation in the multinational production program does not equate to directed specific operation. This is absolutely true. We were not involved in the firing of that missile. That is one thing that is true. However, our components were on that missile, whether we like it or not, is what they're making it clear here. Even if the school strike were unintended, that would not necessarily resolve the question of legality. On the Hanway, a professor of international law at Yale and a former Pentagon lawyer, told the BBC that a targeting error in and of itself is not a defence. If not enough due care and attention had been taken, the relevant test, as she suggests, is whether those responsibilities knew or should have known that civilians were present and failed to adequately vent the target. Such poor targeting has in the past had major consequences. Data compiled by AOAV, drawing on the English language media reports, shows that Iran incidents attributed to joint US and Israeli strikes since February 28, 2026 caused at least 690 civilian casualties, including 487 reported deaths. Of these fatalities, 418 are recorded as having occurred in population areas. More broadly, over the past decade, US-led operations worldwide involving explosive weapons have reportedly resulted in 7,526 civilian casualties, of whom 5,365 were killed. 90% of these civilian deaths occurred in populated areas. The UK has long positioned itself as a responsible arms exporter. With ministers emphasising the robustness of its licensing regime. Yet components manufactured in Britain are routinely incorporated into the Western system, over which the UK exercises no operational control. Excuse me. Raising questions about oversight and accountability in an increasingly integrated defence industrial base. Byline Times approached Rafferty UK for comment, but they didn't respond by the time of publication. I wonder why. A BA spokesperson said, "We are aware of the reporting around the Iranian school bombing and the ongoing investigation. Decisions about when and how these capabilities are used are made by government officials. We operate in accordance with all laws and regulations for the government that we support." The UK government spokesperson has said, "We assess all licenses against our robust strategic export licensing criteria. We keep all licenses under review and we can suspend or revoke any licenses where experts are no longer in line with their criteria." Yeah, but you ain't going to do that to the Yanks, are you? You ain't going to do that to the Yanks, that's for sure. But yeah, we're pretty confident that the United States is responsible for it. We are pretty confident the United States of America is responsible for this atrocity, but whether they'll openly admit it or not, I feel like that we will finally we won't get an admission until the Trump administration is gone. That's how long I feel it will get. I mean, that's the impression that I'm getting from me, guys, on it. But are we responsible? I do think we are part of this atrocity. If we make the components for the missile, we are linked to it whether we like it or not. And I hate that. Schoolgirls, a school full of children. It boils my blood. It doesn't boil my blood, it just makes me sad. You know. I don't know what more to add of, like, my heart goes out to all the parents and whatnot there. So, of all the people who lost their loved ones, lost their children, you know, it's an absolute horrible tragedy. I cannot imagine how they feel about it. I really, really cannot. Right, guys. So I've got 2 videos to see ourselves out, guys. 2, not 1, 2, guys. So bear with me because I want to show you a really, really nice warm-hearted story after this one. But anyways, guys, if you ever wanted to get a lesson in a masterclass in crime, well, I've got the video just for you. By the way, I do not endorse crime for reference here, but this guy might do. This is Fire on Arms and the Hogs YouTube channel. Hope you guys enjoy this one.
For the first time ever, I'm sharing everything I know about robbing, and that's a lot. I'm Michael Hatchet McGrath. I have done 2 3-year sentences in high security prisons, and this is me masterclass in crime. In these next 3 hours, I will teach you everything that I have learned about crime, the mistakes I made that got me caught, and how you can avoid them. Learn how I managed to smuggle over 10 kgs of cannabis through Dublin Airport just this year. Could you actually cut that last bit out? If you don't like the idea of prison, but are still interested in criminality, why not consider white-collar crime?
Hi, I'm Fintan McNamara, And despite defrauding the Irish taxpayer of over €7 billion, I never spent a day in prison. With new clients, introductions are key.
Give me all your money or I'll break your face.
This is a great opportunity. You really need to take advantage of this.
We will cover useful phrases such as, are you charging me with anything? If you had anything on me, you wouldn't be just talking to me. And get your fucking hands off me. Crime is creative. It's problem solving. Sure, I could buy this nice new phone, or I could blast by a bus stop and grab it out of some L1's hand. In these next 3 hours, we will explore the full range of criminal activity. Everything from bank heists, to bus fare evasion, to fleecing the pick and mix in the cinema. For only $5.99 a class, it's a steal. I've shown you how to do it. Now, it's your turn.
He just drove off. He only did 10 minutes. I paid €300 for this. We've been robbed.
He's a criminal. What do you expect? Oh dear, oh dear. You paid 300. You paid €300 for that. €300. Jesus Christ. Oh. Ah, dear, oh dear, oh dear. Reganelite, are you on Discord tonight? I'm gonna leave it tonight. I'll be on Wednesday night. I was planning to, but you know, I've got the whole thing with Dolly has just kind of put me off, you know. And I was gonna get some other work done, but I'm gonna leave it for the rest of the night. But we'll definitely do a Discord after chat on Wednesday because I know quite a lot of people turned up that night. So we'll leave it for there, guys. But before we go, don't go yet, guys. Like I said, I've got one more video, guys. One more video I wanted to share with you guys. You're going to love this one. This is a really nice one. I said at the start of the show that there was going to be a nice, warm-hearted story to share with you guys. Let me see if I can get the... I can't seem to get a good angle of it. Because it's on Twitter. This is a lovely, lovely video. When they say we're not multicultural, and then this lovely woman loved this so much. I'm going to turn it up for you guys.
There you go, nice. There you go, Lego sweetheart.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. They gotta eat, man.
No problem.
Thank you so
And
much.
look at me.
I love it. Absolutely wonderful. This. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, that is a real British woman. That is a real woman. That is somebody that people can take inspiration of here. Love this. Doesn't matter where you're from, your religious backgrounds, and whatnot. No, everyone can take part. Everyone can be a part of it all. And this lovely lady giving money out to these kids. Absolutely adorable, guys. Absolutely adorable. So yes, I wanted to share that with you guys because, yeah, you know, the right wing are gonna have a barnstorm over this. Front page Daily Mail, woman betrays Britain or something or bollocks like that. But no, screw them, guys, because that is what it means to be. That is a real patriot, shall we say? Don't like using that word, but I'm gonna just go call it. She's a real patriot. That's what. There. Right. That was enough warnings. What's wrong, Billy? You're right. Okay, guys. Quickly before I go, because it's because there's quite a lot to do. Okay, so Rumble and Patreon videos will be out for the rest of the week. They'll be dropping at 12 o'clock on those platforms respectively. Guys, so if you want to check them out, you can check them out in the links down below for Rumble and Patreon. There is the Good Morning Show tomorrow at 11 a.m. as usual. No afternoon or evening live stream on Tuesday. But I will have a double live stream on Wednesday. We will have the Good Morning Show and we'll have Prime Minister's Questions, followed by Reganelite's Watch Along. That I put that live stream up today. And this Thursday, guys, a really fun one. On Thursday, non-politics, we're going to be looking at films. We're going to look at some I'm going to just have a look at films. Like I'm going to do some of Chuck Norris's ones, some random films. We're going to do that again. We did it a while ago. I know people enjoyed that, so we're going to be doing that again this Thursday coming up, guys. So really looking forward to that. For those who are wondering when the next roundtable will be, that will be on the 23rd of April next month. If you missed the last one on Thursday, you can check that out on the feed on the homepage as well. We also have next month, guys. Next month's going to be fun, guys, because we got another non-politics live stream, which will involve video games, if you like video games. We have the Eco Flake show with One Angry Pagan. We have the roundtable, myself, Dave McGuinness, and Daily Blase. There's one more person I want to get on board. I don't know if that person's going to has responded yet. I'm still waiting for that person to respond. And then we have Reform Talk with myself and Graham Price at the end of April on the 30th as well. So yes, lots of big live streams, lots of big shows coming up next month, guys. Really looking forward to that as well. And maybe next Thursday, one extra one. But I'll wait for confirmation on that for you guys there. So yes, thank you guys all for coming along tonight. Thank you guys for all your comments. Thank you to everyone who gave super chats. Thank you, Viper Scott, for the gifted memberships. Enjoy the rest of your night. Have a great week, guys. And on your way out, if you can, hit the like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Help me get over the subscriber count as well. And thank you all so much for watching. And I hope to catch you all very, very soon. Oh, don't miss don't miss Dave McGuinness' show at 10:30 tomorrow morning as well. Take care, everyone.